Alright, and I'm back with the next match in the winner bracket. This is the winner bracket final, which will decide the first team that will qualify to the grand final. We are into the map veto already. The blue team Euronics Gaming removing Democratized and A Lucky Lucky. Beber&Co removing Ententite and Alternative Current. So they will remove 2 more maps and then pick their map. And then the last map will be the decider in case of that one having to be played. So the lineups here for Beber&Co will stay the same from the last one. It's Palteza, Win and Pilu. And the same lineup will also be the case for Euronics, Shorty, Rielu and Marius89. They joined Euronics today, I believe. So Euronics now got 5 players, Tamarillo and Devil already playing. We see Wicked Game being removed by Beber&Co, so Blank, Twister and Impulse will be played. Euronics picking Blank, and Beber&Co will pick Twister or Impulse. It's going to be Impulse, so Twister will be the decider, and we are moving on to the first map. And a warm-up phase will first begin this match, and then we'll see the first round. Playing to 3 on each map, best of 3. And you win by having 3 more relay points, or by taking first place after 5 laps. You already know that. So warm-up round, players will have to press F6. We also see... we already see that a few of them will do it. Actually, all of them will do it, so that's a nice change. So that's gonna mean we are starting here already. No waste of time. And currently following Win for Beber&Co. Let's see if they can give Euronics a better match. We saw Puff Bros being completely dominated by Euronics. Puff Bros with a team consisting of Carl Jr., Spam, Pack and Wally. So on paper a very strong team as Win hits the checkpoint. We'll have to respawn, and you cannot afford that in this format. No way, you will lose the round if you do that. Unless your opponents also do a similar mistake, but yeah, that's just a no-go, and that's gonna be it for Euronics. Winning the first round. Only driving 1 round on the map. So yeah, you really cannot afford those kind of mistakes. That will cost you a lot. And especially against a team like Euronics, who have shown really no sign of weaknesses yet. I can't remember if they've actually failed a relay yet. Maybe once, but then I think it was deliberately. So yeah, looking good here for Euronics, and looking good here in the start of the next round as well. Already in the lead. Win again, kind of going wide there in that turn, but at least avoids having to respawn this time. But we do see Beber&Co behind with a couple of seconds. This pace from Euronics is really amazing. So quickly that they already are having such a massive lead entering the second lap. 6-6 in the scoreboard, so Beber&Co at least keeping that. But we do see Rielu actually with a crash here for Euronics, so they will have to wait for him here. And that's gonna allow Beber&Co to go up in the lead, so we do actually see a mistake from Euronics, and Rielu is nowhere to be seen. Marius and Shorty waiting forever, it seems, for Rielu, who's finally back. And Beber&Co now in the lead with 2 checkpoints. They could close it out here, and they will. So Beber&Co strikes back and will tie up the score. So another good example there of how costly a mistake will be. And that didn't really seem like a big mistake from Rielu, so maybe he actually crashed again, potentially. Did seem a bit odd that Shorty and Marius had to wait for him so long. But yep, that's how it can go. So 1-1, Beber&Co will win the first round against Euronics. No one has done it yet. And now Paltessa is doing pretty well here in the start, although his teammates not able to keep the same pace. Meanwhile, we have Euronics already having a significant lead. And also in the lead in the relays, 3-1. This will be it in the next checkpoint. Euronics will take it, 2-1. And the rounds continues to be very close. I still haven't seen a single round which went to 5 laps. On the previous map pack, which was played in the opening cups, you saw that pretty often actually. But those maps were played a lot, and of course some of the maps were old maps as well that were used in other competitions. So these maps are all new, and there's also 7 tracks in total, so it takes a while, I guess, to learn them. So yeah, 2-1 for Euronics, map point in other words. Can win this first map if they take this round as well. And once again, Beber&Co struggling to keep up with Euronics. Marius A9 with a bit of a slow turn, and that will allow Beber&Co to catch up. Essentially putting it at a tie right now. Also in the lead in the relays, 6-7. So finally Euronics showing that they are human as well. Maybe feeling the pressure a bit, knowing of course that if they do qualify to this grand final, they will be in the money. Top 3 will take home some prize money, so this is quite an important match for both teams. Euronics though having a small lead here as we enter lap 3 out of 5. But Beber&Co definitely doing better than Puff Bros did on this track. As Marius will cross that checkpoint. Shorty is up next. You can see the names popping up on the screen. Whichever name shows up is the player that needs to cross the next checkpoint. So now it's Marius once again. The other 2 players will go for some wider trajectories, also slowing down a bit to allow him to catch up. But yeah, Beber&Co actually doing pretty well, and just as I say that, of course, Win will go down here, hitting the wall straight on, and yeah, that's gonna be the final death blow. Euronics will take this one, I think, although it looks like they must have failed the relay because the score is 19-19. I feel like they would have been in the lead by at least 2 relays by now, but maybe they made a mistake of their own. It doesn't really matter though. We can also take a look at the overview screen. Actually, I should use it more often because it does give you kind of a better idea of how close it is right now. We see Beber&Co quite far behind, even though it's tied up in the scoreboard, 25-24 now, but still pretty close. This is though the last lap, so Euronics can now afford failing these last couple of relays, which they will do. Shorty goes for the finish line, and actually didn't even have to go for it. Euronics will close it out, and they will win the first map with a score of 3-1. Alright, that was of course Euronics map pick, I believe so at least. We are moving on now to Beber&Co's map pick, which is going to be Blank by the Grey Hats. Euronics did good on this track as well when they played it earlier, I think. Did they play this one? Maybe they didn't actually. No, Beber and Company played this one against PGG and friends. So yeah, maybe Euronics haven't trained this track as much, although I do have a feeling that they have trained all the tracks. And yeah, we are going to see the warm-ups ending already, so we are live into the first round of the second map, following Euronics Rielu. Oh wow! Hits that bump hard. Able to make the drop at least, could have been worse. But will be behind a bit, so Marius and Shorty will have to wait for him to come back, as he will have to cross this next checkpoint. Beber and Company with the lead. There's Paltesa. Some good speed through the drop. And his teammates not far behind. Wonder though, for how long can they keep this lead? Through to the next lap. Still in the lead, but Euronics getting closer and closer. And now it seems like they have also caught up. So Euronics up in the lead once again after that bit of a blunder from Rielu. Close pack though. Still a chance for Beber and Company. As Marius will cross the checkpoint at first place. Beber and Company actually doing that that ending of the round a bit better than Euronics, so they went up in the lead for a moment. But here's Euronics once again, entering the third lap and taking over the lead once again. 11-13 in favor of Beber and Company though, so it's kind of a scary situation for Euronics. Oh, whoa, what? Oh, alright, Beber and Company must have made a huge mistake there, because they didn't actually drive anything, and that allowed Euronics to quickly go up in the lead with 3 checkpoints, so they will take the first round 1-0. Yeah, sometimes these rounds can end very, very suddenly. Don't really expect it sometimes. I think yeah, using maybe the overview camera could be a good idea sometimes, just to see what's going on overall. Right now it's close between both teams. Beber and Company slightly in the lead. Let's go down to Marius. Here he is. We'll cross the next checkpoint, the finish line. It's another close start. Great turn here from Marius. Once again, Euronics with a bit of a better start to this track. Ooh, win! He's far behind. He continues to struggle for Beber and Company, and yeah, that's gonna be it. He is nowhere to be seen. Paltesa also giving up already, so win, kind of losing these rounds for Beber and Company. You really have to have 3 equal players. If you have one of them crashing a lot, then it's pretty much impossible to win any rounds, I think. So Euronics with that will go up to match point, 1 point away from reaching the grand final. See if Win can avoid those mistakes. Otherwise, I feel like Paltesa and Pilu are doing fairly well. It's kind of just Win that isn't playing quite on the same level, at least in terms of consistency. We've seen a couple of big crashes from him. As we also see Euronics now with a bit of a bigger lead in this first match point attempt. Rielu now crossing the next checkpoint, but Rielu clipping the wall. And this is just before the drop as well, so we will have a bad landing as a result. And Beber and Company back in it, up to first place. So Beber & Company driving good enough so that they can capitalize on Euronics' mistakes. So I think so far they've been their most difficult opponents based on that. So right now looking pretty good here for Beber & Company. Although it does feel like Euronics could still come back from this. See them not being too far behind. Oh, but they are behind though with 2 checkpoints sometimes. So that is a concern. See here if Beber & Company could maybe win it in the next checkpoint. Not quite. And I don't know if there's any part of the track here where the checkpoints are really close to each other. If there is a part of the track that is like that, then I could see Beber & Company winning. But maybe this is the closest one. Yeah, it is, but not quite able to reach that finish line. So Euronics still in it, and they are actually gaining quickly now on Beber & Company. Although we do only have 2 more laps left to go, so if Beber & Company can keep this up, they could maybe win it by taking first place after 5 laps. We'll see what will happen. They do also have the advantage of being ahead in the scoreboard, so that means that they could go for the finish line earlier on the last lap. We'll see the players deliberately failing the relays. Oh, and Euronics will do just that! What a great strategy here for Euronics! I think that's what happened, or maybe Beber & Company failed a couple of relays. It's hard for me to keep track of that sometimes. So yeah, in a blink of an eye here, Euronics will go up in the lead, and it looks like they will close out the match. 24-22 in the score as well, so yeah, it does seem like Beber & Company made a couple of crucial mistakes. Paltesa was far behind as well, and that's gonna be it. Euronics comes back and will close it out, winning the second map with a 3-0 score, advancing to the grand final. GG!